What's up, everyone? Welcome to Wednesday Night Mythic Conversations, and what a conversation we are going to have this evening, because there is a ton of stuff to talk about, all right? We've got the test shot sales, actually 4 weeks of sales at Four Horsemen Studios that are coming up. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about some other sales and things that have been happening in the world of Legions, and of course, I've got my shirt on. I've got my LegionsCon 2022 shirt on, because tonight we are going to talk about the just announced LegionsCon 2023. I've got a ton to say and share about the show. We are going to get it all done this evening. Before we get started, let me do my quick intro that I've been neglectful and not been doing as of late. Welcome to Mythic Conversations. I am your host, Jeremy Gerard. I am a Mythic Legions collector and customizer who also has the distinct privilege of being the director of sales and marketing for Four Horsemen Studios. That means that all the content that you see on the official website, StoreHorsemen.com, is content that I help to bring you. I also post online as Mythic Customs on Instagram, where I share my custom work, and of course, I am here every single Wednesday night doing this show, the weekly show where we talk about, as I said, all things Legions. Thank you very much for joining, whether you're tuning in live, whether you are catching the replay, whether you're here every single week or a first-time viewer. You are much appreciated. Hit the like button, subscribe if you're not already doing so you'll be notified when we go live. Let's see, lots of people in the chat tonight, just kind of saying hello, talking about LegionsCon, talking about all the exciting stuff that is happening. Oh, I've actually got a list here tonight so I can make sure I cover everything. So very quickly, we got a lot to talk about, so I'm going to jump right in. I'm sure you don't mind. Number one, LegionsShop sale this past weekend. If you checked out LegionsShop, we had an absolutely crazy collection of Mythic Legions figures, some absolute gems that we dropped at LegionsShop. LegionsShop is always buying collections. We're always looking for that stuff because we know a lot of these figures get very, very pricey. It's not that we charge cheaper prices for them, but we know when you're buying stuff like that, you want to buy from someone you trust. LegionsShop is your source for all things Legions. That's why we put that together. The same team that runs LegionsCon, Joe Viteri and myself, is also the ones that run LegionsShop, so we bring that to you. So thank you to everyone who went into LegionsShop this past weekend and placed an order for some of those figures. All the orders from this weekend went out yesterday. They were supposed to go out Monday, but we had snow here, and my post office pickup didn't come over, so I dropped them off myself on Tuesday. Those are all on the way and should start arriving. Any orders placed after the weekend are going out probably tomorrow. So thank you all again for that. There's still a lot of great gems in there, and there are a bunch of cool things that are dropping this Friday at 12 noon at LegionsShop as well. Some painted parts from Immortal Collections. Also, some full custom figures from Brian Ramos, an artist that has been selling some customs at LegionsShop. We sold some a short time ago, and I'm actually going to drop a number of customs on LegionsShop this Friday as well. Some brand new stuff I've worked on recently and some older things that I'm pulling out of the collection and making available. As always, most of those full custom figures, all the ones we're going to have this particular week, are one of a kind, only one to sell. So check it out. That's 12 noon Eastern time at LegionsShop.com. Wolf King Customs. So Wolf King Customs also have a sale going on this Friday as well. Usually we try not to double up the sales at two different shops, but with so much happening, it's kind of impossible not to cross the streams a little bit. So Wolf King Customs are doing a sale as well. Ton of cool stuff there. There's literally one of their biggest drops that I've seen in a really long time. I know that Emil Wickman has a couple ogre heads that are dropping. I know that Steve Bisciotti has an ogre head that's dropping. I said ogre. I don't know if it's ogres or orcs. Ackerman has a whole bunch of painted items that are going to be up as well. There's some other stuff by Steven, some armor and some like a skeleton head. There is a ton of stuff that is going to be available. And I actually have something new that's dropping as well at Wolf King. So let me share it really quick because I'm excited for this. Finally, at long last, for all my critter fans, I'm going to be dropping the weasels. So if you were at LegionsCon 2021, oh, Len just said it's orc heads. Yeah, it's not ogre heads, it's orc heads. 2021. So LegionsCon 2021, I actually quietly dropped these in my display, these two weasel heads. These were some heads that, let me zoom in on them here. These were some heads that I had done, as always, with Walter from Mass Customs, printed by Len at Wolf King. I actually had never taken photos of them. I just dropped them in there. I did have them at this year's LegionsCon as well as part of my critter display. But the reason we never released these were actually done at the same time as we did the mouse kits, the original mouse kits. These characters were meant to be the villain characters in that series, but I really pictured them being on like 2.0 male bodies. Like, weasels are long and thin. So that's what I wanted them on. And because there wasn't a lot of 2.0 male bodies that were readily available, I decided, and Len decided, to hold these off until there were some out there. So that being the case, we held them off with the Mythic Legions Tactics figures that are now going to be shipping soon. We figured, you know what, now's a great time to get the weasels out there. So these are the ones that are going out there. Seb, unfortunately, we won't have any painted ones in this sale, but we do have some painters that are going to be painting some soon. I painted the ones you see here. I will not be painting any for sale, but we do have some painters that will be taking on that chore to sell them. So not in this weekend's drop, but soon they should be available as painted options as well. But there are two different weasel heads. You can see the one on the left is the regular look, the one on the right with the skull head. I picture them as two different brothers. There's also actually a tail. It's kind of tough to see, but this one kind of can't see it back there, but he's got a little tail. That's actually a tail that Emil Wickman developed years ago for one of his cat kind of heads he did. It never got released, but it's really long and kind of thin. Works really well as a weasel tail. So that's what we're doing at Wolf King Customs. So check them out. That is going to be this Friday as well. I'm not sure exactly on the time, but you know what? Check out Wolf King Customs on Instagram. Check out their Wolf Den Facebook page, and you'll get all that information. On that note about the Wolf Den Facebook page, if you enjoy kind of me doing this type of stuff and talking about customizing, there's actually a really cool session that we're going to be doing this coming Sunday on the Wolf Den. So the Wolf Den, that is a Facebook group. It's for Wolf King Customs, but really it's about Legions customizing. You can share stuff in there, even if it's not Wolf King stuff. It's a great group to just be in there, be creative, talk about customizing. So this coming Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern time, I am actually doing a presentation with Curtis Ackerman. It's called Elevate Your Customizing by Focusing on Character Design. So I'm going to be leading this presentation. I really want to talk about some of the design questions that I tend to ask when I start a custom figure. And incidentally, there were a lot of the same questions that at the studio we ask when we create new characters for the actual Legions line. So some of the examples I'm going to be sharing are examples of my customs. Some are going to be examples of actual Legions figures and how the design decisions made before we started picking up paints, before we started selecting soft goods, before we started playing around with 3D parts, the decisions that are made, how they tell the story of the character, and how the character design really starts to dictate what that character is going to be the minute you see it, long before you read a bio or know anything about that. So really excited for that session. And if you dig me talking about customizing and character design and stuff like that, this is the session you are going to want to see. Okay, so that's a bit of news. Let's get into official Horseman news. So, really exciting. It was announced yesterday, that Mythic Legions All-Stars 5 is on the way. So, previously, we had announced that because of a delay with Cosmic Legions wasn't going to be able to be finished production-wise before Chinese New Year. But what that meant was there was a little bit of a gap at the production factory. So to fill that gap, we actually moved All-Stars 5 up. Now, originally, All-Stars 5 was scheduled to ship to customers in Q3 of 2023. Now it's going to be arriving probably by the end of February, and it's going to start shipping probably at the start of March. So it's going to be like 4 or 5 months earlier than originally planned. That obviously is super cool. Bummer that we're going to have to wait a few extra months for Cosmic, but at least we're getting something early. Now, some people did ask, if they look at the calendar, they can see that ZoloCon in Pennsylvania is coming up at the end of February. Some people have asked, does that mean All-Stars 5 will be at ZoloCon? Absolutely not. Even if they've arrived at the warehouse by that date, we will not be bringing them to ZoloCon. The simple reason for that is we have a company policy that we're not going to bring product to shows if we haven't filled the majority of online pre-orders yet. We really want to fill all of them, but that's kind of the guideline we have there. So there's no way we're going to have orders filled, within seconds of the stuff arriving. So they will not be at ZoloCon. Will they be at Toylanta at the end of March? That remains to be seen, but definitely not ZoloCon. So very excited about All-Stars 5 on the water and on the way. Test shots. So another piece of news that was announced last week, actually, last Friday, is 4 weeks of 4 Horsemen sales are coming up. And I do see there's a lot of comments in the chat there. I will get to them in a moment before I move on to LegionsCon stuff. So 4 weeks of 4 Horsemen sales. So these are all going to be in stock sales. And what are we talking about? So the bulk of these are actually going to be test shots. Now, for anyone who's watching, I assume most of you, if you're watching my show, you're pretty familiar with Legions, but you know what? People catch this on replay, whatever. They may not know what a test shot is. So part of the development process for action figures is when molds are created, they want to run some samples through those molds, some sample figures and pieces through those molds to make sure that everything goes together correctly, everything looks good. These are called test shots. Now, usually what happens is when test shots are run through the molds, the factory uses whatever crazy color plastics they have lying around. It's why you'll often see test shots from figures that are in like yellow and pink and all kinds of wacky colors. We have always requested test shots to be sent to us in like a solid dark gray color, very dark gray. We like to see that uniform color on the test shot. That dark color really allows us to see the details. So the story goes that all the way back when the first Mythic Legions wave was coming, the test shots came in and the studio was like, these are so cool. These look awesome. We think fans would really enjoy these. They'd really dig having these. So what they decided to do was they decided to do a very limited number of test shots from that first Mythic Legions wave and make it available for sale. When I say very limited number, the test shots from the first Mythic Legions wave, there was only 10 of each produced for sale. 10, that's it. Crazy low numbers. Interestingly, if you go back, when they first put them up there, they were $100 a piece, and nobody, like, they did not sell. Like, they just did not sell. Now they cost, even though they're not painted, they actually do cost the studio money to make because it's outside of the regular scope of what's being done. We have to get them air shipped over to us. There are costs to it, definitely. So they priced it as really rare collectibles, and at the time, the community didn't embrace it. So they actually dropped the prices down at the time to $50, and slowly but surely they ended up all selling out. Crazy to think that today, right? Test shot sales today literally sell out in seconds. That is how fast these are going to go. And I'll give you some tips about how to handle this test shot sale soon. But back then, they stuck around a little bit, but they became popular. People started trading them, people started selling them. There became an appetite for them. So for subsequent waves, the studio has done these test shot sales. They have done them. And it's something we're going to continue with 4 weeks of sales. So before I get into those 4 weeks, let me go back and check out some of these comments here. Let's see. Okay. I was going to see if I go back far enough to get it. To get the questions. Okay. Got a lot of Legions cons. We're going to get there. We're going to get there. What the hell is all with this coffee goblins? I don't get. There's a joke I'm not getting apparently. Okay. Yep, lots of great stuff coming from Wolf King. Okay. Any All-Star 5 favorites? Dubon is my favorite. He's the one I'm looking forward to most because I really like the figure and the character, but I also have a custom that I'm literally just waiting on those arms and legs for. I needed that color, and while I have extras of that part and I could paint them, I'm like, why would I paint them when I can just get the right colors? Joseph Vassapolo, my colleague, we will do our best to get pre-orders out and available at shows soon after. So there you go. Okay, let's see. Yes, number one rule of test shots, don't complain when you don't get one. It's like the lottery. Okay, let's see. Yeah, Chris was saying go for one. That's a good idea. I'm going to share that too. Okay. So this is what's going to happen with the test shots. So there are a limited amount of these. Now, before I actually got a couple things to show. Okay. Let me show you right here. I actually have another camera set up right on the side of me over here. So I can put some stuff on camera to show you. What would I be showing you? Well, we'll see in a few moments. But here's my suggestion for these. For anyone that hasn't been through a test shot sale or one of these, in stock type sales, they go really, really fast. So here's a couple tips. Number one, log in to StoreHorsemen. Make sure you have an account. Log in before the sale. Go to your cart. Okay. Sometimes there's a weird thing that happens in the cart with cookies on your side where it looks like the last order you placed is still in your cart. Your order's been placed, you're fine. But for whatever reason, it holds stuff in there. It will totally mess you up. So go into your cart in advance. Make sure it's empty. Dump anything that's in there. Refresh your page. Make sure you're nice and clean. Okay. If the site doesn't store credit card information or anything like that for security reasons. So make sure you have that stuff handy. Copy it to your clipboard so you can paste it in really quickly and process. When the sale goes live, now there is a limit on test shots. You can only buy a maximum of one of each test shot. So if you see a test shot you want, you can't buy more than one of them. And you can only buy 2 test shots per week. Now, here's my suggestion. Don't get greedy. If you go for 2, you're likely to get 0. Because what's going to happen is the way it works, and everyone always complains about this, that once it's in my cart, it should stay in my cart. That's not how the system works, because so many people put it in their cart at literally the exact same second that with the limited amount we have, that is it. The site would just not process. It would just not process them. So it's whoever checks out first. So you can have something in your cart, and when you go to check out, the inventory is not there anymore because we've now sold out. if you put something in your cart, you put the first one, and then you grab a second one and put that in your cart and you try to check out, your likelihood that one or even both of them are going to be sold out at that point is greater. So your best bet is to know which test shot you want first. Now, in the past, we would do surprises, right? Like when we did last round of test shots, we didn't tell people that Sir Gerard and Krampus were in the sale. We surprised them. I'm going to be very clear. I'm not surprising you this time. I've told you everything in the sale so you can be prepared. We are showing photos in advance of all the test shots so you can be prepared. On the Full Horseman Studios Facebook and Instagram page, we showed the heroes of Alithia's wave today. Tomorrow I'll show the villains, okay? We want you to have the time to plan so you can say, that is the one that I really, really want. That is the one I'm going to target and go after. In my opinion, that is your best bet. Pick one that you want and go for it. Okay. Yeah, Kevin's saying, I just want one cosmic test shot. As hard as I've gone into cosmic, I really just want one. Kevin, I really, really hope you could score one. Really do. Mike saying, I knew I want to just get one test shot. I would love Headless Horseman. My opinion is Headless Horseman is going to be one of the most desirable ones. Each week, I think there's going to be a couple that are going to be super. They're all going to be desirable, but yeah, definitely some. Okay, let's see. There's only 2 test shots I'd love to own, Magnus and Sir Gerard. I like the way you're thinking there. Let's see. So Furious 4 stock, I'm going to talk about that in a few minutes, but no, it's not the same scarcity. On the test shots, yes, but not the regulars. I'll talk about the regulars in a little bit. Okay. So that is my question. Are test shots of the same character, the same sculpt, or are they different production samples of the same figure? I'm not sure what you're asking. So the test shots are basically exactly like the regular figures, just not painted. The plastics are all the same. The parts are all the same for the most part. Test shots are a little weird. Sometimes there are pieces missing or something. And the thing with test shots is you get what you get and you don't get upset. Like you might get a figure that's got a loose hand. These are samples. You might get a figure that's got a loose hip. Nothing's being replaced. We have no replacements for them. You get what you get. That's part of the deal when you buy these. So week 1, I said you're going to have to pick a few. Let me grab something here. So week 1 is the Alithia wave, right? I do collect test shots. I do have a handful of test shots. Now, trying to get a whole run of test shots is insanity, right? I know there are people that have done it, but it's insanity. The way that I do is I try to get just 1 or 2 characters from each wave of test shots, something I really, really like. And there are some I get none because there's nothing particularly I want. With the Irithyr wave, such a great wave, I decided that what I wanted to get for Irithyr was Irithyr and Aethon. So that kind of set me up that what I want to do for all of the Horseman waves is get the Horsemen themselves. Oh, I didn't mean to remove from stream. I meant to solo it. There we go. So this is 2 different characters, right? This is not one. These are 2 different figures, and these are characters that will be available in that first week. This, of course, is Alithia and her horse Phobos. So wanting to get each of the horsemen and their steeds, that's what I think is cool. So the question saying, do they come with all the regular weapons? They absolutely do. You can see that Alithia here is holding her scales or her soul spiller in all those parts. Interestingly, these test shots also actually come with soft goods. Yeah, thank you, Michael. This is actually from Crashbox Customs. Shout out to them over there, Chris and Kelly. Wonderful, wonderful pieces they're providing my backdrop for today. So yeah, now keep in mind, test shots are to test molds. Soft goods don't go through molds. There's no reason to do soft goods. Originally, right, the original test shots that we did, the soft goods weren't included because there was no reason for them. But now that soft goods have become a more important part of the line, we've realized that not including them would really look weird on certain characters. So we do include the soft goods, and we actually have the factory do them in the same gray color as the test shot, so they blend. So that's what I have here. I have my Phobos and my Alethea. Now, these will be sold separately. So if you did want to score both of these, you would have to be one of the lucky ones that is able to get in and get 2 test shots from the sale. But this would still follow the limit. Now, some people have asked about pricing. The pricing is going to vary, but it is going to be like previous test shots. So previous test shots, a standard figure is $60 as a test shot. A horse is $100, and there's a variety in there between ogres and deluxe figures. But the lowest priced test shot, well, actually, the lowest priced test shot, they do have test shots of the hand packs and of the wings. That is stuff that we get. We get test shots of them, so those are available as well. But the lowest priced figure test shot will be $60. So that's Alethea there, and that's the one that I selected for my week 1 purchase. So many great ones in week 1. I mean, the Alethea wave, right, is such a cool wave to begin with. You've got all of those heroes from Zylona's Flock, all of the vampires. You got the Vampire Ogre, you got Varg, Baron Valigar 2, Valak, Artemis Silvercord, so much. Yeah, Star, again, all the regular items that the figures come with should come with the test shots as well. Test shots, Mike, are loose. So they are just loose in a bag. Just literally come in a bag like this. Very cool. So, Kevin, the schedule for this year hasn't moved around. The production schedule has moved around a little bit, but our pre-order schedule has had there's been no changes to that. Everything is on schedule and on plan for what we're doing. And I will say that there's going to be a busy year. There's a lot of stuff coming, a lot of good stuff coming. So you're going to have no shortage of legions to spend your money on. Yeah, the test shots are the approved sculpts because they're going through the molds. So we're not doing them through actual steel. I mean, you don't cut steel molds until you're sure. There are parts before that. There's the fine cut where the molds are made out of like silicone because they're a lot easier to make and destroy if there's a problem. But the actual test shots go through the steel molds. Those are not cut until things are pretty much worked out. Okay, so that's my week 1 pick. Now, what about week 2? So week 2 is Deluxe Legion Builders. And by the way, week 1, that's this week. That is Saturday. So the test shot sale happens this coming Saturday at 12 p.m. Eastern time. And this is on StoreHorsemen. Let me bring up that banner here. StoreHorsemen.com. Oops, I just touched it and it didn't go. StoreHorsemen. So StoreHorsemen.com, this is where you're going to order these test shots, okay? And again, limited of 1 per person, per character, maximum of 2 per week, but let's forget about that max of 2 because that's going to be real hard to accomplish. Pick one, grab one, get out. And if you don't make it, if you can't get one, if you do get, carjacked, it happens. There's only so much of these. These really are like winning the lottery. Week 2. So week 2 is next Saturday, same time. All the sales are Saturdays at 12 p.m. Eastern time, which I know for some people are going to say, oh, it doesn't work for me. There's literally no perfect time to do this. We did do it on a weekend thinking at least more people would be available. So hopefully that'll help. Now, week 2 is Deluxe Legion Builders. So it's the 6 standard figures from Deluxe Legion Builders plus the half giant, plus the half giant, the ogre scale accessory pack, the noble barch pack. Those are all available. And we also threw some extra stuff in that week. The extra stuff are the Figura Obscura Headless Horseman test shot, which I think is going to be super hot. Also, the LegionsCon 2022 test shots. So that is the unknown one and single packs of the Lord Bouchatti Pelvicus or the Praetorian Uwit figure. Now, let me show you something here. So this was something I saw somebody do, and I was like, well, that's super, super cool. Because how do you display your test shots, right? Well, I saw somebody do this, and I was like, that is very, very cool. So this is, of course, a Sir Gerard test shot. So this is a test shot that I got last year. And I saw somebody took this and they actually put it in one of the original LegionsCon boxes. I really like that. I thought that was a cool display. And as I said, you got to decide if you're going to collect these, what are you going after, right? Because getting a whole set is a heavy lift. So for me, I said, you know what? I want, one from each wave that I really, really like. Maybe two, whatever. I want a couple from each wave, two maximum that I really, really like. And I want to get the LegionsCon figures. So the LegionsCon figures are obviously near and dear to my heart because I run LegionsCon. So that's why I did this. So I really, really like that. So as you can probably imagine, what I wanted to do for week 2, I wanted the LegionsCon figures. And here's what I did with them. So check that out. So that is the unknown one test shot in the actual LegionsCon packaging. So I thought that looked really, really cool. That made me super happy to actually have. And there we go. Let me bring that in. I'll solo this. But I thought that was just a neat way to package the actual set itself. And of course, you can't have that one without the Furious 4. So here's my Furious 4 packaged test shot as well. Now that's going to be a tough decision because when you get to week 2, you have to decide, okay, what do I want? Do I want to get one of those awesome deluxe Legion builders, or do I want to go for the Headless Horseman, or do I want to go for some of these? Now, these here, these are going to be sold separately. So these are not, it's not sold as all of them together. It is going to be sold by the individual, either the Bull character or the Bouchatti character here, because that's the way the single carded figures are going to look. And I'm going to show the single carded figures in a few moments. Yeah, Douglas saying I need to talk about my Muppets. Yeah, you can see the Muppets over there. This is in this particular room. I do have a bunch of cases as well, and my Palisades Muppets collection is there. So that is my week 2 choices that I picked. So yeah, so someone pointed that out. Yeah, these, they actually do come with the cat head. So the cat head is going to be included actually with the Bull figure. It is in there. And the unknown one comes with the skeleton head. So the test shots that are being sold are actually, technically, the LegionsCon show versions because they have the extra parts in there. So those are my choices for week 2. Super excited for those. Now, week 3, this is a big one. Cosmic Legions 1. Unknown one test shot, I want to say 75. Cosmic Legions 1, okay? Super excited about this. And it's kind of a throwback, right? So remember what I was saying a few minutes ago with when the first Mythic Legions wave was getting prepared, right? The Kickstarter happened. They were waiting for fulfillment. And it was around the Christmas time, around December, when 4 Horsemen Studios dropped the Mythic Legions 1 test shots. Tiffany, the Jagualian head, comes with the Praetorian Bull figure. Again, they dropped it in December. And it was kind of a really cool way because those test shots were the first Mythic Legions figures that anyone got in hand. They came out in months before the actual wave started shipping, and it was really, really cool. I remember I don't have them anymore, sadly, but I got 5 test shots. I remember I got an Ornn Steelhide, a Sir Galeron, an Urzok. I actually don't remember what the other ones I got were. It might have been a Barbarian Builder, but I got 5 different test shots, and they were the first times I got to hold these in hand, and it was incredibly cool. So for Cosmic Legions, we figured that would be fun as well. More so, I mean, especially so because Cosmic had that unfortunate delay. We were expecting originally that Cosmic was going to be shipping in January. So when we realized there was a little bit of a delay, it was like, you know what? The test shots are something that we can produce in small numbers, get them into a box, throw them on a plane, and get them here. We can do that and at least allow some people to get some Cosmic Legions in hand a few months early. So that's what we're going to be doing. You're going to be available every figure in the wave. Every figure in that Cosmic Legions Valkatar Book 1 wave will be available, including the Deluxe Thygar. So the Deluxe Thygar is what I have here. One of the things that's really interesting and cool, I think, about these test shots are the visors. So the visors are not clear, right? The test shots that we showed previously, those were done in clear, but these are all in they're all in the same color. So you get that different kind of look for the visor piece right there that I really, really like. So this is the Deluxe Thygar. He does come, see if I can grab the other pieces for him here. He does have a second head, and I can put that head on, and it will look more Thygar-y. There's a whole second neck part, but I'm not going to pop that on right now. So if you want to see him with his more Thygar head, but this was probably one of my favorite figures in the actual wave. I love this figure so much. You know, it's a great example of the new suit for Cosmic Legions. And interestingly, I'm going to be, after this show, I'm going to be shipping these off to my friend Dorklair. So Bill Drunowski is going to get his hands on these on loan from me, and he's going to do a review on them. So if you want more of an in-depth look at these figures, check out his YouTube channel soon, because he's going to have a look at them. I'm going to put that original head back on. Pose it a little bit differently here. But I think, you know, they were showing packaging samples today on the 4 o'clock show, and people were getting really excited for those packaging samples. And one of the comments I made is I absolutely think that when people get these in hand, they are going to be so blown away. And people that like slept on them or went light on them, they are going to regret it, because these things are absolutely gorgeous. Wonderful, wonderful figures. So I've got that one here, and I've got probably my favorite figure in the wave. Is the Sphexian Block Commander. Love this guy. So these figures, the Sphexians were ones that when we showed the test shots off at PowerCon last year, the Sphexians were the ones that blew people away. They were, so many people were like, oh my goodness, I couldn't see all the incredible details on these. I couldn't tell the stature, the way they actually like stood. These figures are just absolutely gorgeous. You look, let me put it in here. I mean, absolutely super cool. On the show today, they kind of showed the wings and the way they work, and the fact that in back, you know, they could actually those wings kind of go in together. You can put them in together, so it's almost like a cicada type wings. The ones they showed on the 4 o'clock show were the actual wings, so they were transparent. They were like a production sample. So the fact that when they go over, the way the colors work, it looks so good. Yeah, I'll full screen it. Great looking figure. I love this one. And I mean, he's got, you can see, all these articulated arms. Oop, popped out. All these little articulated arms right here that everything can be posed. Super cool. Again, I'm not going to go too much into like a review of this because that's not what I do. That's what my friend Bill at Dorklear does. So he's going to get this guy as well. He's going to get both of these very soon. Again, check that out. He put out a call actually on the Cabal for anybody that is able to score a cosmic test shot. He was asking if you want to partner with him. He would love to borrow it from you short term so he can do as many cosmic reviews. And that's super cool because we want people to know what these figures are like so they get excited for them and so they're ready to buy more. Very cool. So that's what I've got for those. That's what I've got for the test shots to look like. So quick recap. This coming Saturday at 12 p.m. Eastern time, Alithia Wave. Next Saturday, Deluxe Legion Builders, plus those extras like the Horsemen and the LegionsCon. The third week, which is February, I think it's 11th, right? Let me look at a calendar here. So this week is the 28th of January. Next week is February 4th. That's the Deluxe Legion Builders and Extras. February 11th, these are all 12 p.m. Eastern time. That is Cosmic Legions test shots. And that leads us to week 4, which is a different kind of sale week. So the first 3 weeks are the test shots. The test shots are going to go lightning fast. The last week is going to be a little bit different. The last week, what we're going to be selling is actually the standard versions of the LegionsCon figures. So these are the standard deluxe boxed version of the Unknown one and the single carded version of the Furious 4 characters as seen here. So this is a photo that I took recently at the studio because I wanted to show people what they look like, not only by themselves, but with the actual 2-pack from LegionsCon. So the one in the middle is the LegionsCon edition. That is not going to be for sale. Those are sold out. But what you can see, one fun thing we did is because there are 4 different characters in the Furious 4, the Praetorian and the Lord Bushati heads were put on the figures for the 2-pack. So we went with the opposite heads for the singles. The Lord Bushati Pelvicus one comes with a skeleton head, and the Uwit Praetorian one comes with the Uwit head. Now, in the Uwit one, you can see the orc head and the bull head together. In this head, all you see is the skeleton. This Spartan Mercurian looking head is in that box. So what it is if you wanted to get all 4, you would need 2 of this character and 2 of this character. That's the way it works. Now, someone asked me earlier about limits, right? How limited are these going to be? These are not like test shots. We have quite a few of these. These are similar to the sale we did last year for Sir Gerard, where we tacked the Sir Gerard sale onto Reinforcements 1. We're not tacking these onto Reinforcements. These are going to be sold by themselves, but quantities are similar. Also, limits are similar. So for the first 24 hours, the limit is 12 of any character per person. So if you wanted, you could buy 12 unknown ones, 12 Pelvicus, and 12 Uwits. You could totally do that. That is the limit for the first 24 hours. After that point, purchase limits are lifted. Unknown one standard version will be $45. Both of these single figures will be $37, just like a standard Legions figure. So that is week 4. That is February 18th. That is what is going to be for sale. Now, these figures as well, I'll just point out, these single figures, these will also be going to the MuskeCon show in March. The MuskeCon show, of course, is the show that's put on by Pitorion himself. He is going to be there. The Furious Four, they're all going to be there. Cornboy and Jim from Four Horsemen Studios will be there, and those single figures will be there as well. Very cool. So that's what I've got talking about news, right? We're literally 45 minutes in, just covering everything that's going on in the Legions world right now. So much. So I'm going to go look at comments real quick before I jump into LegionsCon. Oh, okay. Kevin said, hands are shaking, palms are sweaty. Yes, these are very exciting. Dorklear is in the chat saying, huge shout out to all Kabar members who are going to try to help me complete my mission. Absolutely. Dorklear, his mission is to review the whole wave of cosmic test shots before the official figure release. That's going to be a tough one, but if anyone's up for it, I believe it is you. Let's see. So if anyone does get some and they want to help Dorklear on his mission, please reach out to him. Miles saying, I like the new packages. Nice to see most accessories on display. Is that a change going forward? Maybe down the road a little bit. I'll be honest with you, I'm surprised to see them the way they are in the Furious 4 packs. It's very, very cool. People have commented on it, so it's something we like as well. So I think you will see more of that. Yeah, says Dorklear saying, I need to budget for these Furious 4. Best bang for your buck there. There's a lot of stuff in those packages. Those are great figures for $37. And again, the whole point of the Furious 4 is all the colors match, so you can pop and swap those things to your heart's content. So, yes, Billy Bay is saying we broke the mobile hotel site. Yeah, we had some big news today. And the big news we had, of course, was the announcement of LegionsCon 2022. So we've been working on this literally since the week after last year's LegionsCon. Last year was amazing. We had so much fun, but we was very clear that we needed to grow. We needed to go bigger. The fact that we sold out of tickets, a month before the show, that we sold out of vendor spaces long before that, the hotels sold out. We sold out of everything. So we said, you know what? We've got to go bigger. Every single year, LegionsCon has grown, this one as well. It took us a while to find the right venue that was going to, make sense for us. We have a lot of things that we needed to have happen. We finally found it, and we're super thrilled to announce it now. So let's talk about that. First off, the event itself, I'm here on LegionsCon.com. So do I have that as, I do have that. So LegionsCon.com, that's the website I am looking at right now. Literally, this is your source for everything you need to know about the show. Now, on this website, you can see right away, here's the dates. We're doing this on Saturday and Sunday, November 11th and 12th this year. We've announced it. We want to get the information out there early so people can plan, so people can start to make their travel arrangements and all that. Here's the cool thing. Right now, both tickets for the show and hotel space is available. So let's talk about those. I'm going to go through this website really quick. So the event details, as we've talked about, those are the days. It's 9 to 4 on the Saturday, 9 to 3 on the Sunday. But if you've been to LegionsCon in the past, you know that those are just the approximate times the actual doors of the main room are open. LegionsCon happens all day and deep into the night. Okay, we're going to have a blast at this hotel. I'm going to talk about the venue in a little bit. The space is amazing. The space itself is the Hanover Marriott in Whippany, New Jersey. So for everyone that's saying, oh, I was hoping LegionsCon this year would be in my state, it's going to be in New Jersey every single year. New Jersey is home base for the studio. That is where we all are. That is where all of our products and all of our props and everything is to do the show we want to do, to get everything over there. It's got to be close to home. So New Jersey is where it is going to be. Whippany, New Jersey is a nice area. It's about 20 minutes from Full Horseman Studios. A little bit different area. Last year we were in Secaucus, which is actually close to New York. This is deeper into New Jersey itself. Now, tickets for this year are $40. So one badge will get you in for both days. You don't need two badges. One badge will get you in for the Saturday and the Sunday, get you access to the marketplace, the workshops, everything. There's not extra stuff that you have to buy. $40 gets you in. Those badges are available now, okay? We will be doing single day tickets as well. We are not selling them in advance. Single day tickets are going to be available day of show. They're probably going to be about $30 for a single day ticket. So if you can only make one day and you want to come up and just get a wristband to come in for that day, it's going to be at the door, cash only, $30. But if you want to guarantee you get in and you're going 2 days, get that ticket early. Get that badge now. The tickets are all available right here. There's all over this website. You can see links to say tickets now. That's what will bring you to Eventbrite to buy your ticket. So I'm not going to go through all the guests, but I will tell you that all we have done so far is we haven't opened the floor up to new vendors yet. We reached out, loyalty is important to us. We reached out to the exhibitors that have been part of past LegionsCons, and we said, hey, you get first crack. And almost across the board, everyone is coming back. There's a few people that are not on this list that reached out to me after the post today and said, hey, I forgot to tell you, I am coming back. So they'll be added soon as well. Additionally, I've got a wait list of new exhibitors that want to be part of the show. They are going to all be added soon as well. So this list is already incredibly expansive, and it is going to grow. I mean, look how big it is already, and it's going to grow. Mini Glycon is going to be back as well. So one of the things we've done is we have this independent toy creator showcase where independent toy companies that are in the spirit of Legions, they have been asked to be at the show. They exhibit their stuff. Companies like, you can look at the list there. There's a bunch of them. I don't want to say them, so I don't forget somebody inevitably. But the Golios people, they were at the last LegionsCon. Huge draw. People loved having them there. They are coming back as well for a little mini Glycon. Now, let's talk about the venue. Actually, I'm going to look at some questions here. Yeah, it's right in Cookie's backyard. Dorklair saying, book today. So pumped. LegionsCon is easily the highlight of the collecting year. I mean, really, if you've never been to LegionsCon, you're going to hear people talking about it, and you're going to say, this can't be. Everyone is pumping this thing up. There's no way it lives up to it. Far be it from me to say, but it does. It's an amazing experience, not because of only the stuff that Joe and myself do, a Full Horseman does, but this is an amazing community. Getting everybody together like this, nothing but good vibes. It is so, so much fun. People saying they booked. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's going to be so epic. Last year was nuts. I can only imagine. I will tell you that one of the things we're going to change from last year, the one negative from last year was the line was insane. I totally know that. We were aware of that. We fixed it on day 2. So last year, what we did was we put the exclusives line right after the Horsemen, thinking, you know what? People don't want to wait in 2 lines, so they'll hit one, then they'll hit the other. But there were a lot of people that were like, I didn't need to wait in the Horseman line, but I was forced to because I wanted exclusives. So on day 2, we separated those two, and it made everything so much smoother. So this year, right, Four Horsemen Studios, they're going to have a section all to themselves with multiple checkout lanes. We're going to have 3 or 4 different checkout lanes for Four Horsemen Studios to speed that line up. The exclusives will be in a totally different section. The exclusive line actually goes super fast because the Horseman table is full of stuff. So people are grabbing literally carts worth of product, even with the limits we impose. The LegionsCon table, when we talk about the figures, it's only 1 figure per day. So you come up and, I mean, we had pins and prints and stuff like that, but there's a limited amount of stuff to buy, so it goes very fast. So we're going to separate those two to really, really help the flow. We're also going to put some security on that Four Horsemen line. I did hear some people that were cutting in and trying to double dip on the line. That's not in the spirit of Legions. We're going to prevent that this coming year. Let's talk. I'll talk about the exclusives in a bit. I haven't gotten there yet. I see a couple people asking about that. So LegionsCon venue. So the Hanover Marriott in Whippany, I can't say enough nice things about this place. It was super cool today to see people from New Jersey who, when we finally announced the venue, people saying like, oh, I know this hotel. This place is really nice and it's huge. This place, last year, the venue we had, which, let's be honest, it wasn't a perfect place, but those people were awesome to us. They gave us the run of that hotel. They were so, so cool. But we had to grow, right? We couldn't go back there. This place, first off, the ballroom that we're going to be using, right? And you can see kind of the ballroom right here. That ballroom is 11,000 square feet. The room we had this year was 6,000. So we've got a lot more space. And that's only one of the spaces we have. We actually have another space right outside, and we have a big hallway area. I'll show you that in a minute. Last year, the space had about 150 rooms. This year, this one has 353 newly renovated rooms. Super cool. There's an Irish pub right in the bar. So everybody making their bonefish grill jokes, because last year I kept talking about the bonefish grill. This year, it is the Irish pub, which is like the Old Shableen pub. I can't say it. I'm going to mess it up every time I say it. And it's going to be funny. That'll be part of the joke this year. But last year, I really pumped Bonefish Grill and didn't go eat there. This year, I'm really going to pump this Irish pub. And I probably will eat there because I do love me a good Irish pub. Besides that, this place has a gorgeous outdoor space with fire pits and a lounge and stuff. You never know what you're going to get in November in New Jersey. This past year, the weather was gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. So if we get another really nice year, being outside may be wonderful after hours. These last 2 photos are some of the hallways outside of the space. We're going to look at those in a few minutes. One of the cool things is if you are going to the venue, if you are going and you need to stay, you want to stay at this hotel for a couple reasons. Number one, we promised that we would sell a whole lot of rooms. For them to allow us to do it here and the negotiations that we had to go through, because this is a big, expensive place to rent the way we are doing. We are renting a ton of space. We had to promise a lot of rooms. So when you stay there, you actually do help the show. But that being said, we've negotiated an insane rate. If you stay at this hotel normally, like if you go on their website and just try to book rooms, it's like $260, $270 a night, right? We got them to $159 a night for the rooms, for our room block. We also got them to waive parking fees. It's normally $15 a day to park. They waived it. Resort fees, they waived it. Wi-Fi fees, waived it. All of that stuff is waived for LegionsCon guests. But you need to go to our website, legionscon.com, and click the booking link, or call the hotel and tell them you want to book for the LegionsCon room block, and they'll take care of you. Now, our room block goes from Wednesday night through Monday morning, okay? Because even though the show is Saturday and Sunday, we know there are some people that don't want to leave on Sunday after the show's done. They don't want to just hit the road. We know there are people that are going to be coming early, whether it's for intern for a day, G-Con, or just early to hang around with Legions fans, right? those extra days will help. Now, I just mentioned intern for a day in GCon. Not going to go into those too much right now, other than to say, yes, we will have an intern for a day. Yes, it will be a lottery selection like we've done in the past. Yes, we will be doing GCon the day before LegionsCon, the whole Mythic weekend. We love that. We're doing it again. More information on that in the future. So the hotel, super, super cool. I'm going to look at the layout of the hotel in just a moment, but a number of people are asking about figures. When do figures get announced? Give us a few more months. We've already planned out the figures. I've already seen them. They're awesome. They're absolutely super, super cool. I cannot wait to show everybody what we have. There are 2 different sets this year. So one figure set is going to be on the Saturday. One is going to be on the Sunday. So just like we did this year, if you want access to both of them, you are going to have to come to both days of the show. Okay, now, if you have any questions, hit me up. Oh, I will say this. So really funny. So we opened up the reservations today, right? And if you try to book something and it says something's not available, we only have so many rooms each night, and we have to figure out where to allocate those rooms. So a lot more people decided to stay on Sunday than we expected. So we ran out of Sunday rooms, but we added more. Okay, we can keep adding more, especially this early. It's one of the reasons why we wanted to get this done so early. I will say that there was so much interest. We broke the mobile booking site this morning, and the hotel was blown away. They were like, what? Like, they said they have never seen a show sell this quickly. So I will tell you this. We do still have rooms. They're going fast. Booking at the hotel, it is cancelable up to 48 hours before you check in, and they don't charge you. They put a hold on your credit card to make sure it's legit, but they don't charge you anything until you check in. Understand that. If you wait too long, you may be shut out. We may sell out. I didn't think we were going to sell this quickly at the hotel, and we do still have rooms, but they are going fast. Okay. So let me go to the Hanover Marriott. I want to show you this layout here. They have a really great floor plan on the site that I think is really cool. And that will give you a sense of kind of what we actually have here. Okay. Okay. Y'all still with me? Who's excited for LegionsCon, right? Okay. So check out this floor plan. This is what we've rented. So this grand ballroom that you see right here, that is what we have rented. Now, all of these lines, all these different salons, the walls come down. The walls can, extend. So if they want to do smaller rentals, we rented every inch of this space. We also rented the Hanover ballroom. So we have rented this entire section over here. This room here is going to be the main actual area that we're going to be in. That's going to be the main show. And then we're not sure what we're doing in this room yet. That may be where the breakout sessions and the hands-on workshops are going to be. So pretty excited about that. Now, one of the cool things that you see here is, see where it says East Assembly? That is a wide open lobby type area, but it is not the hotel lobby. So at this year's LegionsCon, we were all partying in the hotel lobby. The hotel lobby is down this giant hallway. Those photos of a hallway, I'll bring up some photos in a minute, but those photos of the hallway, that was, you said the pic is blurry? There's not much more I can do about it. I can zoom in maybe, but yeah, there's not much more I can do with the picture. I mean, it's on their website. It's not a best picture in the first place. But yeah, so what I was saying was this hallway, the lobby is down this hallway here. So this is like a private area. So where we are going to be is really, really secluded from everything else, which is very, very cool. Even all around here, we got restrooms. All of these hallways, these are huge, wide open hallways. Everything in this area is just for us. So that I think is very, very cool. Now, let me do this for a minute. I'm going to go off here. I'm going to go to the gallery. I want to show you another picture because I showed you those little pictures, but I want to show you a better photo of that. So let me get to the gallery here. Okay. Okay. So when I just said that there's like a big hallway that leads from the lobby, that's what we're looking at right here. So in this hallway, and yeah, this is probably where people are going to be sleeping because they're crazy. All you crazy people that sleep out the night before. If you're coming from the main lobby area, you're going to be coming down this hallway. And what we see here in this space, which I don't have a photo of just that space, unfortunately, but that photo down there, that area down there, excuse me, is like a wide open space that is going to be for us. That is a big open lobby area where we can hang out and do what we did at this year's LegionsCon. During the show, they're actually going to set up concessions there as well. So there will be snacks and so forth on site, cash, snacks and stuff like that. This is another hallway that goes around. So you can see right here where it says Salon D. This is one of the doorways into the main room. So look at how wide this hallway is. This is one of the hallways that goes around the actual room that we're going to be renting. So it is an absolutely massive space. This is not something we're renting. This is one of the smaller rooms. But this is the grand ballroom, and it's only part of it. It's such a big room that you can't actually accurately photograph the whole thing. Obviously, we will not have tables like this. We're not going to have all of that stuff. This is going to be wide open with rows and booths and everything that we're going to have all of the people at. So let's see. And this is all right on their website, checking this stuff out. But even if you look at some of the stuff that I was showing, like I said, we're not going to be spending much time in the actual lobby, but if you look at the lobby itself, I mean, it's gorgeous. It's a really, really nice place. We're very, very excited for this. And quite honestly, they're very excited to have us. We are selling a lot of rooms. They're excited for, having a group like this. One of the things I will say is last year at the venue hotel, they were so impressed. And Walter, he's in the chat here as well. Walter, he told me multiple stories, all jokes aside, about going to Bonefish, and the people there were so thrilled at how respectful everyone was. They were like, wow, you guys are incredible. So it's always wonderful to hear that. I've said multiple times that if you were at LegionsCon last year in that lobby, there was a lot of alcohol. There was a lot of people drinking, and amazingly, there was no drama. There was no one being belligerent, no one being stupid. Everyone looked out for each other. It was good people having a good time. And that's what we're going to do at LegionsCon 2023. So once again, the LegionsCon tickets are available now. We do have a lot. I don't expect we're going to sell out, but I didn't expect we were going to sell out last year either, and we did. Additionally, rooms, those will sell out. We will hit a cap on those. There's a lot fewer rooms than we can put people in the actual venue. So keep that in mind if you do want to stay. Let's see. I'm going to go back to the comments here and see what people are asking. Yes, Walter, we can sit at those tables and play with Mythic and Cosmic, not just Mythic. We're going to play with Cosmic too this year. Absolutely. Walter's going to be there. Always a huge part and a wonderful part of these shows. Walter's going to be at a bunch of shows this year. I can't wait, Walter. ZoloCon coming up. Awesome. So, Star, you're going to be at LegionsCon? That's very exciting to hear. Okay, let's see. Comments here. Yeah, I mean, if we could, I have to imagine that at some point they're going to stop giving us rooms because, again, we talk them down from like I said, like $270 a night to $160. Because that's one of the cool things, right? Is the cost of the show is a little bit more this year. So last year the cost was $25 for a 2-day badge. This year it's 40, which honestly is still, I think, a bargain when you look at other shows and what they charge. I think we're still an incredible value. But Joe and I were like, look, we've got to raise prices to help cover the costs of what we're doing here. Bigger shows, bigger costs. Uh, but we said, how can we pay it back? Like, how can we, if we're going to ask for a little bit more money on the badges, what can we do to help them out? So last year, the rooms were $199 a night. The fact that we got them down to $159, if you're staying for 2 nights, that's a $40 saving per night. So you're saving $80 on the room, or $80 plus tax on the room. So that $15 additional for the badge is definitely not so bad. You're coming out in the end much, much better. More money to spend at those tables. Let's see. I actually have not ridden the elevators. I haven't been to the venue yet. Last time I was in New Jersey, we were in the process of negotiating the place, but I was really busy with some other stuff. I wasn't able to make it there. So I'm probably not going to be able to visit until sometime in February. When I do visit, though, I will bring, I'll put my phone on and I'll walk around and do a video. Let's see. Yeah, Nolan, people were setting up at I think 4:30 the night before the show. They were setting up. Absolutely crazy. Dedication. As far as I know, a lot of people ask about the elevators. As far as I know, the elevators are in good working order. Would it be too early to expect third-party custom parts for Cosmic Legions? No, not too early. There were Cosmic Legions custom parts at this past year's LegionsCon. Anthony from Noble Bear Customs had a super, super cool set of parts specifically for Cosmic Legions. And there's a lot of parts that are already for Mythic Legions, a lot of weird looking characters, a lot of critters that are going to make very cool aliens as well. There's been a number of people doing some very cool cosmic customs already, or painting heads, getting ready for that. Kevin's been doing some awesome stuff. That poor hotel, they have no clues coming their way. Dude, we're selling rooms. They're happy. Okay, let's see. Yes. Anthony's saying drunken drama was handled and put to bed by the sober studs. Yeah, there were a couple people that had too much, but it was handled. Let's see. Yes, Curtis, I will not read that comment, but it was correct. Yeah, no smoking inside the hotel rooms. Thank you very much, Greg, Sir Ukzak. Obviously, Greg is going to be there as well. Who's the bouncer for vendor setup night? Yeah, vendor setup night will be a little bit different this year. Hopefully a little bit better security so it doesn't become the free-for-all that it was this past year. Let's see. When did rooms sell out last year? A few months before the show. There was a lot fewer rooms last year, so they sold out, a few months before the show. Actual badges sold out about a month before the event. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I mean, one of the cool things, people asking about toilets and elevators, it's the hotel. I mean, you saw the photos. The hotel's been recently renovated. It is really, really nice. And everyone, again, don't take it from me, the person who's promoting the show and trying to get you to go. A number of people in the cabal today, when they heard where the show was, were reiterating, this is a really, really nice place. Just booked my room. Can't wait. Very cool. Thank you so much. I mean, we want to do something, Rob. We want to do something out on the West Coast. I know that there are some guys out there. Walter's doing some planning for some kind of gathering out there, but LegionsCon is going to be a once-a-year thing. To do what we're doing, the more we spread it, that's one of the things. If we try to do LegionsCon West and LegionsCon here, but it dilutes everything. So LegionsCon is a once-a-year thing, and it is close to home. Okay, let's see. Going through all this, all these comments. Yes, Kevin. You were who I was talking about. You've painted some awesome cosmic characters. Do not bring a gumball machine. Gumballs are my weakness. Everett, Legions Con is the best con experience I've ever had. Well, thank you so much. Okay. Oh, get that comment off there. Let's see. Nolan again saying, agreed. Been to 13 toy conventions. Legions Con was the best experience. Felt like a bunch of friends hanging out. And that is true. I say that all the time when I promote this, that Legions Con is, part toy show, part art exhibit, part family reunion. There's a ton of stuff to buy. Okay. Not only from the Four Horsemen table, obviously, they've got a ton of stuff. We've got a ton of stuff there. But additionally, so many vendors are bringing stuff, and a lot of people bring stuff you are only going to see at Legions Con. There's a lot of creators that are there that don't sell normally, right? People like, Eric Miller, Noah Pratt. These are people that gorgeous, gorgeous things at their tables, but they don't normally sell them. They sell them at Legions Con. And those are just two examples that come to mind. There's a lot of different creators that do that are there. Emil Wickman, all the way from Sweden coming down selling stuff. In addition, you're going to get the big creators, parts creators like Wolf King Customs, Noble Bear Customs, Toy Forge. I go on and on. Again, I'm not trying to leave anybody out. Look at the list. It's all there. Let's see. Yeah, Walter's saying about the West Coast, he's trying to finalize it. It's not a Legions Con type event, but it's going to be something cool. If Walter's involved, it's cool. Okay, let's see. Curtis. Star saying, I know this has been discussed before. Do vendors sell primarily by cash or credit? Really depends on the vendor. A lot of the vendors that are there, they don't do this with any frequency, so they may not be set up for credit cards. In this day and age with so many cash apps like Venmo and everything, a lot of people will take that. The Four Horsemen table will take credit cards. The Legions Con table for the exclusives will take credit cards, and the LegionsShop table will take credit cards. Those are ones that I personally have something to do with. I can confirm all three of those will take credit. Cash is always king, but there are plenty of places that will take credit as well. Yeah, Legions Lounge will be starting the road to Legions Con in August, I guess. I think you're going to have to get everybody in, Trevor. That sounds about right. Mythic Legions is very much more than a toy line. It's funny because you get to a point where it almost sounds. Look, we sound like a cult. Okay, let's just call a spade a spade. Okay, Walter running around saying "Cabal above all" and wearing his Cabal ring and everything. We come across like a cabal. By like a cabal, we come across like a cult. And if you're on the outside looking in, it probably looks that way. But when you get on the inside and you realize, wow, these are great toys made by great people, loved and collected by great people, and everyone is just genuinely enjoying this. It's a lot of fun. It is more than a toy line. It is the community aspect. Like I said, it's part art show, part as I said, part toy show, buy stuff, part art exhibit, because there's a lot of people that are there with products that are not for sale, that are there for show, and part family reunion. Some of the coolest parts about LegionsCon 2022 were when those doors of the actual event closed and everyone was hanging out in that lobby. That was so much fun. I wasn't even there, but one of my favorite things was the podcast crew from Michigan. They bought these like giant candy bars, and Eric Treadaway and his kids came in, and they had put the candy bars like on two chairs, so it was like spread between them, and they had Eric Treadaway's kids karate chop them to try to break them. and his son broke this, like, one of those giant, like, 5-pound Hershey bars. And of course, Pete McCarthy handed half of it, to the victors go the spoils, handed half of a 5-pound chocolate bar to Eric Treadaway's young son and said, "Here you go." And they went up to their hotel room and probably ate a good amount of it. Just memories like that. And that's just one of many. There were so many fun aspects that happened after hours. And let's be honest, it happens the entire weekend. Okay. So there will be people coming in Wednesday night because Thursday is going to be intern for a day. So there will be a few people around on Wednesday night, not many. Thursday night, more people, because Thursday night, Friday is G-Con, and more people come to G-Con. So Thursday night at the hotel, you start seeing people hanging out. They're starting a party. Friday night gets crazy. Friday night is setup night. It's nuts. That's where everyone's there. Saturday night is after the first night. Again, everybody's there. Those are the two main nights. But Sunday night, it keeps going as well. Because Sunday night, like I said, a lot of people don't want to drive home. So they're hanging out and they're having fun too. So realistically, you get like 4 nights of this after hour fun of people just having a blast and hanging out. And even if you're not a big partier, I'm not a big partier, okay? I'm not a big drinker or anything like that. I was down there until 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. I think I was there at 1 o'clock in the morning. You don't have to be drinking, hanging out. There's plenty of people that are just enjoying the atmosphere. Great place to be. What else we got before we call it a night? Yes, Eric, we're not a cult. Again, come across like it. Who is the best table with custom figures? It's interesting, Mike. One thing that's really cool about the show, someone made a comment to me earlier today about doing like an art contest. And I said, you know what? And they mentioned another show that does it, and that's super cool. But I said, I don't know that it's appropriate for LegionsCon because so many people in this creative community, so much of this community is built on the back of creativity, and it's non-competitive, right? When customizers look at other customizers, they're not like, oh, that's something cooler than I did, or I think so many customizers, and I'm sure not everybody, I'm sure there are people out there that don't fall into this, but all the people I know, they don't have a design ego when it comes to that. They are genuinely happy when they see something cool at another table. They're not jealous that it's not at their table. They're thrilled to see it at one of their friends. It is such a welcoming, like, supportive energy like that from a creativity standpoint. So saying who is the best table, I don't know that anyone would really answer that. There are people that may say, oh, I really like this person's style. I really like this person's. People have favorites, but it's such a non-competitive environment that I don't know that anyone would really be able to answer that. Yes, Jeremy said we're a cult. Okay, let's keep going here. More comments. Yeah, I get to talk to Eric Treadaway at last year's PowerCon. Told him I've been a fan since Bendy Violator, his very first toy sculpture. That is one of the cool things. If you've never been to LegionsCon or any of our shows and you dig the toy line and stuff, we're all there. I mean, especially at LegionsCon, every member of the studio is going to be there hanging out. So, those people you see on 4 Horsemen O'Clock, Chris and George, they're there. Joe Vassapolo, he's going to be there with his table and running around and going crazy. Cameron, Sherry, Bill Mancuso, all of Diego, all of the Horsemen, every one of us is going to be there. If you come, you get to hang out with all of us. You get to say hello. You get to ask questions. We're all thrilled to hang out and spend some time with you. Luke saying, I've been thinking of going. We hope to see you there. That's one of the things too, is I hear from a lot of people that they have social anxiety and they're like, I don't know how I'm going to react to it. it's awesome. It is such a welcoming place. And one of the cool things about being at a hotel is if you're staying at the hotel and it gets a little overwhelming, you can go in your room for a few minutes, go get your breather. You don't have to be downstairs the whole time. You don't have to be partying after hours and stuff. You can have the con experience that works for you. Okay. I believe they do have handicap accessory rooms, Tiffany, but you'd have to call and ask them. GCon and Intern are not open to the public. Those are events that are done through a lottery. So LegionsCon you buy tickets for. The other ones you got to be selected through a lottery. Yeah, Curtis, it's not a competition, just a mutual love for everyone's art. Okay, let's see. Are we going to try to set a viewing at GCon at the venue hotel? Yeah, Chris from Mythic Bids did that last year. I would love to do something like that. Having not been to the venue yet, I don't know where we could do that, but absolutely would love to do something like that. So as long as it is possible, I will set it up. Whole ship and crew will be there too. That's right, Greg. I forgot Cookie. Cookie will be there. Greg will be there. The whole crew of people that help out will be there as well. Brian, BK, complete Vernon. I was like complete forgetting his name. Everybody will be there. Yeah, Curtis says I struggle with a panic disorder. LegionsCon is therapy. Trust me. Gore saying, I have a group of serious vintage toy collectors near me. They don't collect Legions. They all refer to the Cabal as a cult. Cracks me up. They're just jealous. They are. Yeah, Anthony, great comment. If you don't leave LegionsCon with 10 new friends, you didn't LegionsCon correctly. That should be on a shirt. So, recap, a lot of great stuff going on. It is, oh my God, it's January, guys. It's January. We are just getting started. Like, you know me, right? Yes, I'm on the inside. I work for the company, but you know that I am a super fan. You know that I love this stuff. The year that we have scheduled for you is epic. Absolutely epic. There is going to be so much great stuff. Mythic Legions, Cosmic Legions, Figura Obscura, LegionsCon. So much great stuff is coming. We're only January and we are starting to see that. There's a lot more to announce. Buckle up. 2023 is going to be an absolutely amazing year. So this Saturday, StoreHorsemen, first of 3 test shot sales. The week of February 18th, that is going to be the standard LegionsCon figures. Very, very cool. Cannot wait to get this all out there. Thank you to everyone who has gone on and already booked their rooms and their tickets for LegionsCon. We had an absolutely epic day today selling both rooms and badges. I literally cannot wait for this show. I wish I could fast forward and make it November 11th and 12th right now so we could all be hanging out together in Whippany, New Jersey. But while we can't do that, there's a lot of cool stuff to happen before we get to LegionsCon, but we can certainly prepare for it. No, Walter, you don't need a badge. You know you're all set. Yeah, I mean, it is. So someone's star was saying, amazed to see what LegionsCon has become when I think back to its beginnings. Last year at the venue, there was a little vestibule area. The area, if you were there, the area where they had like the water jugs and stuff. That little vestibule was that room was the entire size of the first year's LegionsCon. And the first year's LegionsCon was great. I'll always remember it fondly. It'll always hold a special place in my heart. But it's, as cool as it was to have a little meetup like that. Yeah, it's amazing that it's grown. It's grown to this point where there are people that put this on their calendar as like, okay, this is Legions Week for me. Like, this is something I do every single year. And I'll be honest with you, that is healthy as hell. And that is so healthy. Like, I've seen some people saying like, oh, I've got to convince my significant other that I should go and everything. Yeah, do that, because this is a great experience to get out there and hang out with people that care about the things you care about and are just good people. And not for nothing, there's a lot of people that I talked to last year that dragged their significant other along with them. And they were like, oh my God, this was so much fun. There are multiple vendors that brought their girlfriends or wives or husbands who were like, yeah, they came to support me and they had so much fun. And they were already thinking about, oh, next year we're going to do this, next year we're going to do that. My own wife, my son has come to LegionsCon and come to shows for years, but my daughter and wife had never come before last year. The entire family came down last year because I needed their help, to be honest with you. They're all going to be there this year, and they loved it. Like, she had so much fun being in that environment. I was so impressed by how cool everyone was and walking around and seeing all the booths. I mentioned when I had Eric on last week, Eric LeBron, my wife was looking at one of his customs and he gifted her a custom, which is now in my collection. So win-win. But yeah, dude, it's awesome. Come out. If you love Legions, LegionsCon's where you want to be this November. Very cool. Well, with that, thank you very much, everybody. As Curtis said, buy all the rooms. Let's dominate this hotel. Let's take over the entire hotel in Whippany, New Jersey. Make it like this past year where there was only like a dozen, people at the hotel that weren't part of LegionsCon, and they walked downstairs and saw all of us partying, a giant ogre in the lobby, and it just must have looked like the absolute craziest scene. Very cool. So legionscon.com. I will be back here next week. Same Mythic time, same Mythic channel. Thank you all very much for tuning in. legionscon.com. I hope to see you there.